Thank you for stopping by the Matt and Todd Show. And we're going to kick it into college stuff. Dean's got a list here of just some defensive backs, guys around the nation that you ought to be paying attention to come Saturday. You better know what's going on. So when Diamond Dean speaks, you definitely need to pay attention to what we got going on here because, hey, Dean's made a list.
Hey, it's ironclad, buddy.
They ain't no messing around.
This is it. ESPN will call for this later. Okay.
So without further ado, let's just get right into it.
All right, top 10 DBs in the country. Now, I'm not going to get a lot into this. I'm just going to name them. All right. Number 10, Andrew McCava. Easy name. Clemson. Yep. Number 9, Tywan Mullen, Indiana. Number 8, Keely Ringo, Georgia. Everybody knows who he is. Yeah. He run the interception back. 7, Jalen Cataline from Arkansas. I am going to talk about some stats here. 2 years ago, he made 99 tackles. It's pretty good, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Number 6, Eli Ricks, Alabama. We don't know. He didn't play much last year. Played the year before. Had 4 interceptions, 2 returned for touchdown. 5, Riley Moss from Iowa. Number 4, Jordan Battle, and I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
He's great.
Yeah.
86 tackles, 3 interceptions. He started forever for Alabama.
Yep.
He's number 4. Number 3 is Northwestern transfer, Brandon Joseph to Notre Dame. Number 2, the second best defensive back in the nation, this is according to several publications, is Cam Smith from South Carolina.
Yeah, he's had a lot of talk. I heard Greg
He's going to be
McElroy
a first rounder.
talking about him the other day. Yeah.
And number 1, drum roll. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Number 1, Antonio Johnson, Texas A&M.
Yeah,
Headhunter.
Yeah, last year he had a big impactful part of the season and being a part of that win against Alabama, constantly in the backfield, constantly causing disruption.
He's a safety, right?
He would run.
79 tackles.
He even would come down and run inside on some different keys and some swaps when they'd swap him out of like a 3 to a 4. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. I do agree with this list.
Football player.
So your top 4, Johnson, Smith, Joseph, Battle, and Riley Moss from Iowa. So that's the DBs.
Yeah.
All right, and that's it.
Yeah.
On the top 10 DBs.
Yeah, those are people, just like the list kind of like we give in the county, just people you would definitely want to pay attention to.
Right. It's not necessary. Then you know it won't end up that way.
No, you'll have All-American guys probably step out and stand out somewhere else.
There'll be somebody in it, maybe. Who knows?
And clicking right along with that, I'll give you some action here. Also, since we're talking about college, update from August the 6th here. This is the last time this was updated for 2023 recruiting class rankings. Notre Dame, Bama, Georgia, Ohio State, Texas. That's kind of where everybody's falling at right now in recruiting.
Freeman's getting it done
around the nation. They've got more money. I don't know why people keep worrying about them having these deals. With broadcasting deals, they've got a lot. They've got plenty of money. And also on the list, I had to mention these guys too. 10 was LSU, 11 was your Tennessee Vols, 12 was Florida Gators, 14 Arkansas, 34th is A&M, 36 Kentucky. And 63rd spot down there is Auburn. Now, this is not the final. This is talking about kids they're getting now that's going to graduate next year.
Coming year.
So they'll be graduating. Yes. So
in June.
These are just schools and kind of the order that it's in right now. I like to stay up to date on that. I like recruiting, and you know how I am about recruiting stuff. I got tons of stuff over here for recruiting. We'll talk about Bruce Sard's top 10 list. I like to go over that. I like
Chris Bruce. He's a good one.
Tim Brando.
Oh, this is his top 10.
Yeah, Tim Brando throwed one out there the other day. And it's good. It's pretty good. I would have some changed around, but I mean, this guy's been doing it as long as I've been living. He's got. Let's start backwards. He's got Houston at 10. I could probably go against that. He's got Michigan at 9, Notre Dame at 8.
Yeah, I agree.
NC State at 7. Don't know about that. Oklahoma at 6.
No.
And then your top 5, the outside looking in is the Utah Utes. He's got it 5. And your top 4 playoffs, what he's seeing is 1 Ohio State, 2 Bama, 3 Georgia, 4 Baylor.
They must know a lot about Baylor.
I know. I keep hearing some shouting.
No Clemson in the top 10.
Yeah, see, I would have took out Houston, and I'd have had Clemson at 10 at least.
I don't agree with NC. Tennessee, maybe.
Yeah, they could be in
Or
here
Arkansas.
somewhere.
I don't know. NC State's supposed to be on the rise.
Yeah.
And I do agree with Michigan and Notre Dame.
So we'll just talk about this then, since we both agree that Clemson definitely should be 10, not Houston.
Yes.
Well, at 7, he's got NC State, and let's think about that conference and who's going to be in that conference. I think Clemson's in that conference.
Clemson is in that
How?
conference. Miami,
Have you
North
not?
Carolina, Florida State.
Is people not paying attention who's recruiting? Because I ain't seen North Carolina State been in the top 20 in recruiting in the past. I don't know when. So
They must have a lot of starters back.
I don't understand that, and everybody's entitled to their own. That's what we do. We do a show because we love to argue and debate about.
Yeah, well, now I know they got a great linebacker. He was on their list last week.
Yeah.
Number 3.
Yeah.
Behind Anderson, the guy from Oregon.
What about Miami, though?
I don't know. We're going to have to get deeper into the nation. We're mostly SEC, but
Cristobal.
yeah, I know Utah's supposed to be good. I definitely agree with that.
I got some more info about Utah in just a minute.
And I agree with Michigan and Notre Dame. I don't know a lot about Oklahoma. Baylor must be just going to be great.
With who they're bringing back, and they're going to have a new quarterback at Oklahoma. He's supposed to be good. And
who is he?
I got his name over here on the list. So
it changes so much.
Yeah.
It's not a shame to not know who one of these guys.
Well,
are.
they're constantly moving around and doing stuff. So that's just Tim's.
Yeah, I don't.
And that's okay.
Necessarily agree.
Yeah, most of the.
We didn't come out with theirs yet.
No, we're going to wait till probably toward the end of the month.
I don't think NC State and Houston will be in mine.
No, they won't be in mine either.
But those other 8 probably will.
And I don't see how can we even. Well, it's just what we do. But honestly, I don't see why anybody should put out a list that accounts or imagines or amounts to anything until. I don't think there should be a list till 1st of October.
I agree, but they're not ever going.
Let's play a month. Let's get 3 solid.
Then you know.
Yeah, let's get 3 solid weeks and just see if Ohio State's just beating the brakes off everybody. Because most people's picking them to be 12-0. Michigan's not going to repeat and beat them and win this, the championship, Big Ten. That's not going to happen. Harbaugh's going to be hunting him a job next year, I think. That's just me. Put that on a hot take out there on Twitter. Big Matt said it. Harbaugh will be hunting a job next year. I see him losing probably 2 games this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would think. They lost a lot. They lost Hutchinson. They lost their other running back.
Well, Hutchinson wasn't that good anyway.
Yeah.
That's another hot take. Mark it down. Put it on Twitter. I don't care. I never thought he was great. Never even knew who he was. If nobody ever said anything about him when they played Georgia, he made no plays. He was no impact at all. 0. Now, quarterbacks. Who's who in the quarterback land talk? Let's go to about 3 or 4 of these guys. Levis.
He's the highest rated quarterback in the conference, is he not?
Now,
according to NFL Scout.
Beside numbers-wise, Rodgers is going to be the guy because of that offense they run at Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Just because he eats his bananas whole, they don't peel him.
Who? Levis?
Yeah.
Wow, he just eats them.
Yeah.
Kind of like I do shrimp.
Well, I think everybody does shrimp.
No, I'm talking about I don't even peel it. I just eat it.
Eat the plastic part, the shell?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that. But that's kind of weird. And I think he also puts mayonnaise in his coffee. Now that's...
And they're saying he's going to be a top 10 pick.
2,800 yards, 24 touchdowns, 13 picks, 375 yards rushing. The guy's got wheels. In big games, though, this year, this is my hot take. Will Levis, you have to shine in these big games this year because of the schedule approaching. They're going to be off and away, traveling to some big games.
They got a tough schedule.
They have to shine these big games. They cannot go down there and win 8 or 9 games again this year. He's going to have to step up. This is his 2nd year of full start, so last year was his 1st year of full start. It's time to
Levis, wow.
It's time to go.
He's definitely the sleeper in the conference.
It's time to go. You know what I'm saying? And moving on there, of course, Hooker over at Tennessee.
Oh, wow.
3,000 yards, 31 touchdowns, 3 picks. Was no doubt he's a good runner.
3 picks?
Yeah.
Woo. Oh, he's loved now. Hayden Hooker is the greatest thing that's happened to Tennessee in a while.
Accurate.
Yeah.
Rusher. 620 on the ground. He can read a defense. Last year we seen that. We've seen him pull the ball down. When safeties run out, they'll turn and they turn that shoulder and drop and bail out. And if the linebackers spill, out on a play to run coverage for Wheels, he'll take the ball down. He's going to get you first down.
Oh, he can hurt you. I mean, he hit Alabama.
Bad.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not picking Tennessee to beat Alabama, so hold your whistle britches there just a second. That's another hot
You better
take.
not go to sleep on him.
Will Anderson's going to have plenty to do when they play floppy top. So, of course, C.J. Stroud.
Oh, he's great.
I've got into some more study with him this week. C.J. has been a real role model to a lot of kids, and I didn't know this. I just read about this. I got into a little rabbit hole about him. He threw 4,400 yards, 44 touchdowns, 6 picks. It's 91.6 QBR. I mean, he's the caliber quarterback that you want running your program. And what I did find out, he said that God called him to be a leader, and that's what he does. He works with a lot of kids in elementary schools and travels. He is from Ranch Cucamonga, played at the high school out there in California. He really involved in being back out there because that's those areas out around from that. It's a high-risk neighborhood. You can look it up and go look up some of his high school playing. I did. Holy moly. C.J. Stroud.
He's a stud.
Well, I can pull it up here and see.
I mean, he started from day one.
Gosh.
And, he had great receivers, and he's got the best receiver in the country this year.
Yes.
So his numbers aren't going to go down any, I wouldn't think.
No. Look at him. And this is my hot take on him. He's ready to shine. This is the year for him. All the lights are going to be on him. We really, really look forward to seeing him have a good year. And barring injury, he's going to be a Heisman finalist.
I would think, yeah. Yes, he's
now,
special.
The little star player that may be a guy that you better pay attention to, and they're going to play at the Swamp first game. Florida better have their stuff ready because defensively they better be ready because when Cam Rising comes to town, 2,500 yards, 20 touchdowns, 5 picks, 500 rushing. Davey O'Brien preseason award. He's already been put out there for that. Pac-12 champs last year. Pro Football Network's top star right now as an analyst has put him out there. They lost Ohio State last year, guys, 48-45. The game could have went either way. I went back and watched it. I went back and watched some highlights of it.
If it hadn't been for Jigba, they probably wouldn't have.
That's exactly right.
He caught 15 passes.
Yeah. They finished. That's my hot take on that. They finished flat, so I'm sure they're pumped up and they're ready to get back at it. They're going to roll into SEC land. But guys, we're talking about rolling in the Swamp, the place that Spurrier built.
Hey, they were good last year.
The place Spurrier won a Heisman. And Napier's new coach, got some recruits coming in. They've had a little trouble, had some commits get away and get up north. Now they may be coming back. I've read some stuff on Twitter. Go there and find me at Big Matt 1977. Always sharing a ton of stuff for Primetime Sports Network in affiliation with them. We love doing this and covering this kind of stuff.
Cam Rising.
Yes, sir.
We already know about Stroud, Hooker, Levis.
This is a guy. Put a little check by him.
I know a lot about him.
He's a good kid, really smart, comes from a good background. He lived about 100 miles up the road. So traveling back and forth has been a little different for him because he's kind of transferred into being a little different environment for Utah. And Utah is a little different place. If you've ever been out there, I have. It's beautiful. Culture-wise, religiously, people are different than they are here. That's all I'm going to say. I've been out there.
Mostly Mormon, is it not?
You just have to make a trip yourself and just kind of see for kind of what you think about it. So, hey.
Not knocking them.
No. If Pro Football Network has got him as a top star.
I'm looking for them. I mean, I'll go on and tell you, I've not come out with my top 10 yet, but they're going to be at least in the top 6.
Yes. Yeah, I like them probably about 5. I'll just go ahead and tell you.
Yeah. I don't see that changing.
And
I'm going to tell you mine. It's going to be Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, probably Clemson, and Utah.
Yeah, but probably Utah and then Baylor behind them or Oklahoma.
We're going to have to put Baylor in there somewhere.
Everybody. See, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something because Bryles, ain't he he's the head honcho out there. Art Bryles, didn't he take that?
I don't know who they're. Let me see who Baylor's head coach is.
Their head coach out there, he's took over the reign. I think he took over last year.
Did he take back? Let's see.
So they're just really, pumped up about them this year. And
they are really...
a lot of people are high on them.
Really?
So that's kind of Dean's going to look into that. We'll talk about that too. Cam Rising, put a check mark by his name. Now, practice day one. Day one practice. Storms roll into Baton Rouge, calling a bunch of cloudy weather, bad times, but it ain't going to be no kind of harm put in the way for Coach Kelly and the guys.
Dave
Aranda. That's right, Dave Aranda.
Browse was.
Yes,
forever.
Dave Aranda's the new coach. They're high on him.
He was the D coordinator at LSU. You know, I'll be honest with you, and if y'all want to get down on me, you can, but I don't know a lot about Baylor. I just know that a guy that Coach Beckett coached plays there.
Yes.
But as far as that, you know, and I know Robert Griffin and Mike Singletary played there. That's about it.
Storms roll into Baton Rouge while Kelly takes the Tigers indoors, Dean.
Mm-hmm.
Really looking forward to seeing how Coach Kelly, how's he going to roll this team out this year? What kind of practice guy is he? You know, what does he do? Kind of went inside with him, and I got some good interview stuff here. Inside on day one, they talking about good focus. He loves the detail that the kids had for the day. They like to play a lot of press play. He likes to go real fast, especially when they get down inside the 20.
Mm-hmm.
He really likes to press them in ones-on-ones. This is Coach O. He likes to do the same thing. Day 6, they'll turn it up a little bit. They'll go into third and long situations. This is how he runs his practices. Bradford's out as running back. I'm not sure the whole detail on that.
I don't know a lot about LSU, to be honest.
Bradford is out at running back.
Say some more on them.
And the whole Ohio State transfer Banks, he was practicing with LSU this week.
I'm excited about him coaching there.
Yeah, I am too. I want to see.
I think he'll do well.
I think so too.
I don't see him doing bad. He's never done bad anywhere.
No, Cincinnati was great. That's why they offered him a job at Notre Dame. I mean, they offered him
well there.
The NFL tried to snag him up. Remember?
Yeah. I think he does pay a lot of attention to detail. I see him getting on to his coaches a lot. And I'm not knocking that. I just see, he holds them to a high standard.
Yep.
And I think he'll do well.
I look forward to it.
He might not this year.
LSU.
I don't think they'll be bad.
Let's see here. We got a fan coming in here. Yeah. LSU practiced, had a good practice. He likes the way the guys were paying attention to detail. Mm-hmm. It's going to be really good season. We're looking into that. Auburn Tigers, Coach Harsin, we paid a lot of attention to him at SEC Media Days. He said the team has really rebounded and really kind of kicked it back in high gear, Dean. Everybody's playing together. Everybody's been a big family. All the crap they've had to go through from all you Yellowwood and your Greyhound guys throwing money and cigars up there on the ground, demanding that they are done what you're told to do. And they just kind of said, no, we're not going to do that. Still, Lub's out. Bobo is out, which never cared for Bobo. Never thought he's been a good coordinator. Never liked him as a player at Georgia. Nothing personal, Bobo. If I met him tomorrow, I'd shake his hand and tell him he's a great guy. He's a good family guy. See pictures of him and stuff. I just don't care for him as a play caller.
Oh.
So they're all out. So he's got his new coordinators in, and these new receiver coordinators are now his offensive coach. He worked with like Megatron in college, and so these guys know what they're doing. And I think maybe some of it was the culture at Auburn is what it is. It's South Alabama. It's hot. It's muggy. It's nasty. People feel like they all got to have their hand in the cookie jar to make sure something right happens. And when a new guy comes in from way out in the Midwest out there, he brings in some of his guys as assistants, but you still have some of that old steel guy in there churning around. And I think he was stabbing Harsin in the back because he was wanting the head coaching job himself.
Right.
So I think there was some of that going on.
I can't imagine anybody in the SEC having more pressure on than Harsin.
Well, you're in state with you're in state with a Hall of Fame coach. He wants the job at Auburn. That's it's hard.
He's got a lot of pressure on him, and the reason I said Tennessee's coach is because they're building him up to be unbelievable. He's got a lot of pressure on him.
Yeah,
they don't have an easy schedule.
No, expectations are high.
And Napier, his expectations aren't high.
Yeah.
I mean, so he don't have a ton of pressure. I mean, they want him to be good, but he's not expected to go 10-2. But they're acting like Tennessee might be 9-2 or 10-2 or 9-3.
Well, Napier better get his stuff together.
Well, no, he's gonna have to do good, but I don't think he has to go 10-2.
Rising's coming to town week 1.
That'd be a big win if they got that.
I think so too.
Then they got to turn around and play Kentucky.
Yeah. First day in, first day back down on the plains, he asked if the reporters had been to a camp personally. Like, have y'all guys ever been to a camp, or have y'all been players? Most field reporters are not. Most guys that are they don't play football. They just cover it as to do news or whatever. So to say from 6 to 7 a.m. This is 7 in the morning. This Coach Harsin broke this down. I thought it was interesting. You guys might want to hear it, and if you got some young people listening, you may want to hear this too. They have a eat and meet from 6 to 7 in the morning.
That is interesting.
6:45 to 7:45. That's when they really sit down and eat. They get taped up 7:30 to 7:50. They have a staff meeting and team meetings from 8 to 8:15. Full team, special teams has meets. Offensive, defensive are installed from 8:50 to 9:35. They do walkthroughs with helmets from 10:30 to 12:15. Have lunch, practice, media, 3 for the second practice at 4:20 to 6:15. Dinner, staff meeting 6:15 to 7:45. Then they split 7:30 to 8 o'clock. They have walkthroughs. They have another team meeting. Then they'll have a big snack. Curfew's at 10:45. This is 10 days straight, and this is how it's run in fall camp. And this goes on.
Brutal.
This goes on everywhere around the nation.
That was just for 10 days, though, right?
Yep.
Then they get back to normalcy.
And all the guys we mentioned earlier, the kids from around here, that's what they're going to be doing. And they got to go to class.
That sounds brutal.
And they got to write papers for psychology and history. And they got to do labs for their biology 201 classes. And they may like to have a social life and actually talk to their girlfriend if they got one.
Yeah, they probably don't cut up much after about 2 weeks.
I mean, you got to go. When do you wash your clothes, or when do you when you get to do anything?
I know. They probably have no sense of humor after that 2 weeks. It's probably just, okay, gosh, let's just go to bed.
Class starts the 16th at Auburn. His main quote, hot take from Coach Harsin: trying to build chemistry, trying to get things together back down there on the plains. Seems like they are. Coach Harsin feels good about it. He's moved some of his assistants into position coaching spots. Look forward to seeing Auburn down on the plains this year. They got a tough road game. They always play Georgia and Alabama, the best 2 teams in the country. It's a tough job.
Yes.
Tough job.
Yes,
if they win 7 games if they win 8 games this year, I'll shave my head.
You think? Really?
Yeah.
Don't do that.
I'm just saying it's a tough schedule. And you see where they're at.
I mean, their schedule's brutal.
And you see where they're
even
at.
for a good, I don't know how good Auburn will be. Let's just say Auburn was supposed to be great. They got a tough schedule.
Yeah.
Either way.
But one of our close friends that Todd played football with said, if anybody can do it with less, it's always Auburn.
Oh, yeah.
If somebody's going to do it, it'll be them.
Yeah, he did. I forgot who that was.
Yeah.
Who was that?
So,
Somebody did say, they said, it would be all right. I believe it was Tim Grace.
Yeah.
Auburn, it don't matter. They'll probably do good anyway. So
yeah, well, they'll get kicked into class here in just about 9 days.
I don't know why their boosters and stuff don't see that though. If their local heating and air guy can see that he does more with less, why can't they? I mean, they'll run him off if he don't do well.
I know he's gonna have to win 8 games, I think, to stay around.
That schedule's brutal. He plays Georgia, Alabama, A&M, LSU, Arkansas, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Oregon, and you're supposed to go 8-4.
Well, and they're recruiting. They hadn't recruited well. They got a whole new class of coaches in. They got a new quarterback. Finley got arrested.
For eluding the police.
It was an attempt to elude. He's on campus. It's not a big deal. I read a statement from his lawyer. Misunderstanding. It's going to be took care of in public court. It's not a big deal. But I still think you pizza roll Calzada. Just better.
I think Calzada's better.
He's just better. Finley can come in, I'm sure, in situations and add to it. So we'll see how that goes.
We've got an insider, one of our old crew, that thinks Calzada's amazing. And they're going by the Alabama game, but they said that's the potential of this guy.
Yeah.
And now he didn't really play well outside of that game, though.
No, that's why everybody, and this is what you can't get a lot of people that are fans of other teams
to admit.
If you could just be a connoisseur of football the way we are, we enjoy teams up here, Alabama and Georgia and Auburn here, and we cover the SEC. Bama gets everybody's best shot.
I think that was his best game last year.
Everybody plays Bama harder than they play anybody else. I mean, it's just the way it is. I mean, who don't want to beat Nick Saban? And back in the day, who didn't want to beat Barry Bryant? It's just how it is. Moving on, speaking of Alabama, Thursday the 4th, it was a terrible, terrible, humid day, and they had a lot of bad weather come through on these days. All these days, everybody started practice. The first day had some heavy rain on the practice field down in T-Town. Coach Saban is ready for the guys to, hot take is, invest in themselves. Invest in yourself. Quote from the day, we have 9 back on O and defense. We were young. This is the hot take we're talking about to begin the show off. Dean, tell me what you think about Feinbaum's spill on that.
I don't think Saban really meant it. He just said, like, hey, I didn't feel like we were a very experienced team last year. I know we did well, and I'm proud of them, but it was kind of a rebuilding year, and Feinbaum kind of took that as him saying, well, we didn't win it because we were inexperienced. That was taken out of context.
I think they didn't win it because there was players out hurt.
Yeah, but they got better as the year went on. They're 5-star athletes. I don't think he meant it as an excuse.
Well, I did this on another podcast or something. I ask other fans of other teams, take your best corner and take your 2 best receivers and an outside back. Take them all out of the game and go win a national championship. Who can do that?
See, he's never said anything about that.
No.
He just said it was a rebuilding year.
If Georgia would have matched and they would have went down the list and said,
as far as their standards.
If Kirby and Nick sat down at halftime and said, all right, Nick, who you got out? Okay, and we're going to take out the same. Okay, you know, receiver, 2, both? Oh, God, both. He's out. Sorry. Linebacker, corner. Oh, you're going to have like 5 guys. All right, Coach Kirby goes to his staff and says, we're setting these 5 guys. Now let's go here and match it up and see what happens.
I just think Saban made a statement. I don't think he was making an excuse for why they didn't win it. Feinbaum kind of took that as, hey, he's making excuses.
Yeah, I don't either. And I put out on Twitter, guys, nobody picked. You can go back to our show right here on YouTube. You can see where we're at. We had Oklahoma playing Georgia for the national championship. We didn't have Bama even win the conference last year.
No.
We knew what they had. It was young. We knew it. Brooks and Dalcourt come back. They are practicing. And let's see. Having all his coaches back. Yep, that's another good point. That's a hot take. Having all your coaches back at Alabama, that's definitely a good thing. Good gracious, man.
First time in a while.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Latu is missing camp. He had some kind of small injury. Not sure what's going on there. We hope he gets better soon. More diversity in the run game to help the offensive line.
They got several running backs.
We're going to see how Gibbs does this year. He was number 5 in my top 5 takes that I put over
he was a preseason All-American according to Sport News.
Yeah. Over on Twitter, go find me at Big Matt 1977.
Well, not as a running back, as a all-purpose.
Yeah. He was 5 on my list. Now, of course, I love Henderson, those guys, and Johnson.
And Johnson.
Yeah. They're going to be
preseason All-Americans. And Young was in Jigba and Addison were the receivers. And I did not agree with this, but you can't call the Sport News. Bowers was not. He was second-team tight end. The cat from Notre Dame was first-team.
I disagree.
No, Bowers. I've not seen a better tight end.
No, we're talking about like Gronk type. He's going to play a long time in the NFL, bar an injury.
He's great.
Yeah.
He's absolutely
great. He is great. Can't wait to see him.
How many yards can he gain after the catch? Most tight ends can't do that.
Yeah, he just makes moves. He just keeps his feet moving. Talking about Georgia, the returning champs, coach is a little worried about their depth. He said, we're not here to cry, but we're here to solve problems. We don't talk about, creating the problems in your own deal. He said, we make our own box and we create our own destiny in what we do. 19 early enrollees, most in the nation. Have 4 new assistants, McClendon wide receiver, Sendell's O-line, Uzo for outside linebackers.
That goes in hard names again.
Brown at defensive backs. We get reps with our quarterbacks. Bennett, he's okay. He's a great game managing guy. Thank God they had a great defense that helped him win the national championship, and he done his job.
Yeah,
he was Greg McElroy 1.0. Kirby took the Bama team that beat Texas and rolled it out. And in the printer machine, I'm doing my old typey, Miss Judy, when she was in the office running copies, or your mom. They run out that copy. They played the best defense in the country, and a guy that was just good enough and was smart and can control the game. Put a guy out there at receiver that can make a play. Win a championship.
Yeah. He's asking to make some throws late.
It's 09 2.1. I mean, is it not 2009 Bama 2.0? I mean, go back and watch it and compare and tell me I'm crazy. That's okay. Vandergriff, boy, I really like him.
Oh, he's good.
Beck, he's a good guy too. And this Stockton kid.
Boy, I had a coach tell me the other day that he beat them by himself in their high school football.
Now, he's from Darlington. No. Yes.
Raven County.
Yeah. Played at private school.
Yeah.
Darlington Light School. They won the private
No,
Georgia.
that was Vandergriff.
Vandergriff won the private.
Yes, private.
The private school championship.
Stockton played at Raven.
Yes.
But just ridiculous stats. 3,200 yards passing, 10,000 in his career, rushed for a couple of times, and just ridiculous stuff.
We can't wait to see how that's going. We all assume Bennett's going to get the nod. I mean, he did get him a ring and get to smoke a cigar.
But everybody talks about Vandergriff.
I'm telling you, I like him. He's that. If I got to pick on list, I said back in the season, I don't know why there's a big talk about quarterback. Why don't you just play Vandergriff? Just go ahead and burn that bridge, take the first year lumps, and play Vandergriff. Kirby was also excited about 14 more practice days this fall. And back on April the 16th for G-Day, he felt like it showed him some good things about the team, the things that they're working on through the summer. Wide receiver Meeks gets called out for wearing his undershirt not tucked in by reporters that I watched that were there at practice. Kirby crawled him up one side.
Really?
Pretty much just nearly run him off. Can't get you undershirt. You can't do anything right. I mean, we do all the little stuff right. Tuck your shirt in. But I'm sure the reporters just see that and they run with it. Me and we've been on the field and there's something else. He may be,
I would think,
giving him lip in the weight room or who knows what's going on.
There was at some point, and I know something like that happened around here a few years back, and there was some underlying issues.
Yeah. And
that wasn't it.
Now, most people don't. You just see at the game, you think, oh, wow. He said Paul looks the part at running back. So we're definitely excited about them and see what Georgia's going to bring back. Are they going to repeat as national champions, Dean?
I don't think so.
No, lost too many. We look for
Kirby Smart may be the best coach ever if he can win, losing all them.
If Ohio State can put it all together and they can score 40 on Bama when they play in the playoffs or how that rolls out, that's what I'm going to say. And we can't miss out the last guy, Dean's favorite coach out at Pig Suey.
No, Tillman. No, Pittman.
Yeah.
It's Tillman.
Day one of practice, cornerback Hudson Clark looking really good. Coaches were bragging on him. I like him. He was a big star. He had 3 picks versus Ole Miss 2 years ago. He's a pick machine. The guy's really bragging on him at practice. Jefferson says, he got me at practice today laughingly. The defensive leader and safety, Jalen Cataloon, praises Clark, said that this guy can read the defense. He's a real team leader. They enjoy him. He's a big part of what they do.
Catalon's going to be good. He made that preseason All-American
I know.
list.
And he's praising Clark for how good a practice he had. Coach Pittman's just a good old ball coach guy, and he's from out there in the Midwest, and he's having a good time. And Kentucky, watched some of their stuff. Coach Stoops talking about what they were doing. He didn't want to take questions about who was injured and who's not. Coach Stoops just come on to say at Kentucky that they're really enjoying the season right now. They're ready to get started. You know how it is. Like Coach Kelly and Coach Knapp, we're tired of hitting each other. We're ready to go out. We're ready to have a good time. G-Max on the quarterback list. This is what Greg McElroy had to say. Now, we're not going to count Young, Stroud, and Williams. USC, Ohio State, Bama. Armstrong at Virginia. Got to look out for Hartman at Wake Forest.
I agree.
Check.
They averaged about 500 yards a game last year, Wake Forest.
That's why you hit the subscribe
button. Wake Forest, baby. We're going Wake Forest. We all Wake Forest right now, ain't we?
And this guy here, Levy at North Carolina State, G-Mac
maybe
likes him.
that's why they're putting him in the top 10.
Now, this guy here, I like last year. I talked about him a lot, and they didn't get a lot of love because he got hurt and went out. Van Dyke at Miami. Really look forward to see him play. Rodgers had 86,312 passing yards on the Pirate ship at Mississippi State.
He's got more yards than the Atlanta landscaping crew, doesn't he?
Gabriel at Oklahoma.
Okay.
Likes how he plays.
Dylan. Yeah.
He does have some wheels to him. He can move around. He's not just a pocket guy. Look forward to seeing him. And, of course, KJ at Arkansas with Coach Pittman. He's tearing it up at practice. They said he had some kind of couple of deep passes. He's having a good time out there. And the rising guy out at Utah, he's on my list I made earlier. Check that name out, Cam Rising. They're going to start the year off at the Swamp down there
good game.
at Spurrier Land. Coach Napier's going to take over down there this year.
Kind of the game of the day to me.
It will be. And last but not least, guys, Spencer Rattler. Let's talk about him a second, Dean.
All right.
Come in, had his game plan Oklahoma. I watched him play at the Next Level stuff he had on Netflix. You know, they had a little show, Last Chance U. Hard-working kid, kind of small. Got a good arm on him, though. Really great escapability. He got in a bad spot. Coach jerked him, put in Williams, and we never heard nothing out of him again. Now he shows up at South Carolina, and all the reporters and all you talking people, they're going to say, well, big man, how can he be better at a place with better defense and a better conference, and he couldn't cut the mustard in the Big 12? How's he going to be better?
Well, we really don't know. He just had a couple bad games.
So how's he going to be
never got his
better?
spot back.
How's he going to be better, Dean? Can he be better?
Oh, yeah, I think so. I think he probably is better. He just didn't get a chance to show it. Lost his confidence.
Beamer ball.
He'll get that confidence back.
I mean, you got Beamer out there coaching. Yeah. His dad was a great coach at VTech. Had one of the best quarterbacks, I think, the most exciting quarterback to ever play the game. Michael Vick. I know. I mean, guys, don't get me started on Michael Vick.
Oh, Vick. That's definitely one of the better ones that's played.
We went through Tim Brando's list, and we took our hot list, and we talked about Coach Saban. Guys, that's kind of going to do it. I mean, that's all I got for the week.